Hello friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Valeria for those of you who are new, and I'm a psychic medium and tarot reader here on YouTube. And the topic of today's video is going to be messages from your ancestors. I channeled this subject for today's video, so I'm very excited to see what kind of messages are going to come through. So as you can see, there are 3 piles to choose from. For pile number 1 over here, we have the clear quartz. For pile number 2, we have the purple aura quartz. For pile number 3, we have the green Adventurine. So you can pause the video if you need to meditate on the cards or on the crystals. Just take your time, do whatever it is that you usually do, and once you have selected your pile, I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Before we get started with having a look at your cards, there is something I briefly wanted to mention. As I was preparing all the piles, there was one card that stood out to me while I was shuffling, which kind of represents the whole energy of this reading. And it happens, sometimes it happens more often, every now and then in a reading. I get this message of like a general message for everyone. So the card that spoke to me was this card Truth. This is from the Gospel of Aradia deck, which I have also included in your pile of cards here. And this just really spoke to me as a message from, all the ancestors that are going to share messages in this reading, as like, today we're going to really expose some truths. We're really going to get into the truth. And here you can see that the scale is unbalanced. So I see that through these messages, the scale will again become balanced. So maybe some unfairness happened in your life recently, and through these messages you will receive balance, you will receive fairness as well. So this is really just the main energy of all of these readings. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that in case some message comes up that might trigger you or might be like a harsh reality check or something, it is because it's meant to. And you see that there's this beautiful flower. I believe it looks like an orchid is here in the back. So although this is the truth, it's also going to be a gentle truth. So please keep that in mind as we go through your reading. So let's get started. First, we're going to have a look at your tarot cards. Your first tarot card is the Hanged Man. You also have the Two of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So yes, talk about truth. Talk about truth. To me, swords talk about authenticity, talk about speaking your truth. Here on her jersey it says fight like a girl, so it's standing up for what you believe in. So let's have a closer look at your other cards before I get into what I'm seeing here. So your first oracle card is Lady Nada with Heart Awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. Again here with the flowers, with the roses in the background. We also have communication is key with new moon in Gemini. Wow. I was just so like shocked at this card saying communication, because I was here talking about standing up what you know, speaking up or standing up what you build for, speaking up for what you believe in or standing up what you believe in. So your next card is the Unknown. Beautiful card. And then from the Healing Light Oracle, you have 2 cards. So your first card is Your Heart is a Healer with number 22, a beautiful card. And you also have Past Life, Present Power with number 21. This is also gorgeous. Look at all that yellow there. So let's see, a message from your ancestors. So there is here, first of all, the message that your ancestors, they stand beside you. They stand behind you. They're here to offer your support, their support, sorry. And there is something that happened in a past life that is somehow related to this message and to this life. And it's interesting because I also feel called to film another past life, pick a card. I already did one some time ago, but I really love past life pick a card, so I'm going to do one again. So it's interesting that past life here comes up in your reading. So you might want to check my older past life pick a card video as well, or maybe you want to check out the next one that I'm gonna post. I don't know when I'm gonna record it or when I'm gonna film it, but I do plan on doing it. So, like I said, there is something from a past life that happened in that past life that it's now coming back here. And it has to do something with healing. Like something happened in your past life, and it might actually be not necessarily your past life, but like the lives of your ancestors, the lives that they used to live. So this could also be talking about generational karma, which is something that came up in the previous video that I filmed as well. What karmic cycles are you releasing? So you might have watched that video as well, but you don't, this is not necessary, right? It doesn't have to be, because what I'm seeing here is that, like I said, either you are releasing something from your past life and you're stepping into your own power, or it has something to do with the lives of your ancestors and any generational karma that might be present in your family or in your family line, which you are now resolving or you are releasing. But with the Unknown here, you know, the messages here about that aren't very clear with the Unknown, and here it just says your heart is a healer. So it doesn't say what you are healing from, it just mentions that you're stepping into your power, and that you, here again with the heart awakening, you're using your heart in some kind of way, but it's not saying specifically what this is about. So this could be because it's not known to you yet, you don't know what it is about yet, and it's simply not the right time for you to already know what it is exactly, because you have to uncover it over the course of some time, of course. So it's not that there is nothing happening or that you're doing anything wrong in this case, but it's just that for now it is unknown, but that is meant to be like this. So what I'm seeing here is that you're opening the doors of your heart. Your heart is a healer, so you're awakening to the power of your heart, the power of you as a healer, that is going to help you. Again, I'm not seeing exactly what it is, probably because you have to, it's not the right time yet and you have to find it out yourself. But I'm seeing here that it involves your heart, your love, likely to yourself, to other people, to what you feel passionate about. Here with the communication is key, and the Knight of Swords, I feel like your ancestors are letting you know that you're supposed to chase what makes you happy. You're supposed to chase what makes you feel passionate, and that what makes your heart beat faster, because there is a truth there that you're supposed to uncover. So right now it is unknown. Right now you might not understand it because we also have the Hanged Man. And I just noticed that we have 12 and 21. So those are they're mirroring numbers. So those numbers could be significant to you, or you could be seeing those numbers a lot lately. And again, I'm here seeing that if you experience like you're not sure right now what steps to take next, or what you're meant to do in this lifetime, or how the situation is going to unfold itself, it's because you are now in this period where you are able to gain a different perspective on things. And this has everything to do with your heart awakening to something. So again, it could be something that you realize you feel very passionate about, like a certain type of activity, or maybe a kind of job that you really want to do, or maybe a place that you really want to visit, or maybe it's people that you really want to spend time with, or you're just like, oh wait, this is my purpose, so I'm going to pursue this and I'm going to have fun while doing it. So this is really what I'm seeing here. The message that your ancestors want you to tell you. And with the Two of Swords, with the blindfold that she's wearing, there is again this message of, you might not see where you're going right now, you might not see what is going on right now and what is happening, but it's for a reason, because at one point you're going to be able to take that blindfold off, and you're going to realize what it is that you are fighting for, or what it is that you are speaking up for. And yes, this has to do again with some kind of past life karma, or generational karma, in which you or your ancestors were not allowed, or were not able to speak up about their desires, or who could not share their opinions with others because they were afraid they were going to get punished for it, or maybe even get killed for it, for their beliefs, or maybe for, let's say, their sexuality, for their religious beliefs, or just beliefs about equality between all races, between all genders, and such things. So you and or your ancestors were not able to speak about that freely in a past life. And that's why in this life you are now awakening to that truth and that authenticity in you, and then you are going to live it out. You're not going to let other people, or like the dangers of what it might bring, hold you back. I mean, of course, sure, you're going to be safe, but I'm just saying that if someone disagrees with you, or maybe it's a taboo in your country, you're not going to let that hold you back of following like your authentic self, and doing the things that you love. And you're really going to follow your heart. And for some of you guys, you know exactly what this is about, but you're like, I don't know how to pursue this. I know what I want, but I don't know how to get it, for multiple different reasons. And for you guys, I'm seeing it's kind of the same message. You're going to awaken to what the answer to this is going to be. If you already know what you're fighting for, or what you're speaking up for, you're going to know how you can put that into practice, or how you can help more people with it, or how you can live out like the best way while you stay authentic to that truth within you, right? So if there's something you are unsure about, it's like the unknown, maybe the future is unknown, it's scary to you, just know that answers are going to come to you in divine time. That's all. And it's all going to be all right. Again, your ancestors are fighting with you, they're fighting beside you, they believe in you, and they're saying that if you would not be able to do this, then you would have never had the opportunity, then you would have never had the purpose in this life to do this, to awaken to what it is that's in your heart. If you were not able to succeed at this, then you would have never had this opportunity in the first place. So you can take that as a reassurance that what you're doing right now is what you're meant to do, because it did arrive on your path, and that in it of itself is already confirmation that this is your purpose. And just know that your ancestors always stand with you. They always love you. They're always beside you and around you. You can always call upon them for strength. You can call upon them for healing, especially when it comes to past life karma or anything like that. Or yes, when you want to talk about this, what we're, the message that I just shared with you guys, you can also talk to them about it if that makes you feel better or more comfortable, or that gives you any reassurance. Just know that you're also able to do that, and you're allowed to do that. And with the clear quartz, I'm seeing, maybe some of you guys are like, but how do I talk to my ancestors, or how do I know that I'm talking to them? And with the clear quartz, I'm getting that you are a clear channel, so you can channel the messages from your ancestors and also from your spirit guides and angels. By the way, you are able to channel the information that they're sharing with you. This clear quartz, like, it's entirely clear, so there isn't going to be any disturbance in the messages or while you're channeling the messages. All right, so don't worry about it. The messages are going to come through clearly, just as the message that I'm getting here is very clear and straightforward for me. So for you, it's also going to be like that. So with all that being said, I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for watching pile number 1. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. It resonated for you and you liked it, of course. In case you did, feel free to leave a like, to comment, and to subscribe. And maybe we will see each other in the next reading. Bye, guys! Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Before we have a look at your cards, there's something I briefly wanted to mention. As I was preparing all the cards, there was this one card that stood out to me from a deck that I was using, and it happens every now and then that a card just really stands out to me and kind of gives a general message for like all the piles and all the people that are watching. So I just briefly want to share that. So the card that caught my mind was this card, Truth. It's by the Gospel of Aradia Oracle deck, which I also use in this deck of cards. And the message that comes through here with this card, that in this reading your ancestors are going to share some type of truth. And this is going to be a gentle yet a strong truth, because we here have the scale which is out of balance. So there are going to be messages shared that will bring the scale back to balance. And with the flower in the background, I'm seeing again that these will be gentle messages. So just know that you will be receiving some truths from your ancestors in this reading, which might be kind of like tough love. It's possible. I'm just throwing a disclaimer out there, but it is again done with a gentle heart. So just know that before we get into the reading. So with that being said, let's have a look at your cards. For, let's see, your tarot cards, you first of all have the 5 of Swords. You also have the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Cups. So maybe you've been seeing repeating 3s lately. And let's have a look at your oracle cards. We have Bridget with Inner Strength. Move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. And I filmed another video yesterday in which also Bridget came out, but from a different deck, and I believe it was also pile number 2. So I don't know if perhaps you've seen that pile as well. Next up, you have your hard work is paying off with new moon in Capricorn. You also have the shadow. And a third eye awakening with number 30. So let's see for pile 2 messages from your ancestors. So pile 2, what I'm seeing here is, first of all, with the 5 of Swords, there seems to be some kind of conflict in your life. And I actually feel that for most of you, this is an energy of the recent past. One of the things I'm picking up is like conflict between colleagues, maybe some discussions going on, people not seeing eye to eye, people disagreeing. It could be also between friends, maybe even you've experienced something like this on the internet, maybe in some kind of comment section, or maybe even in the comment section under your own post or under your own video, and people started arguing with you. And like I said, I feel like this is something that happened in the recent past and is no longer present in your life right now. So if there is something like that rings a bell, that sounds like that, then here is what I'm seeing that your ancestors have to say about that. So with the 3 of Wands and the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, first of all, this bouquet reminds me kind of as the bouquet that you give someone to congratulate them, or maybe on an achievement or some kind of success. And with the 3 of Cups, you see them clinking their cups as if they're cheering for something, right? They're like, let's cheers to you, or let's make a toast for you. So I'm here seeing that this conflict that is represented by the 5 of Swords that happened in the past, you have now overcome it victoriously. And I don't know exactly what happened, but that's also not the point of this reading. But what I am seeing is that your ancestors are congratulating you on overcoming this difficulty, whether it involves people or maybe something to do with your job or other types of situations. Whatever it is, your ancestors are congratulating you. They are proud of you. And although these are just the 3 of Wands and of Cups, these do have like the energy of very happy cards, right? So I just want you to know that just because they are the 3 of Wands and the 3 of Cups, it doesn't mean that it's just a small energy. Just because it's not like the 6 of Wands or the 10 of Cups or even the 9 of Cups, this is still great energy, because I'm seeing that energy of the 6 of Wands in the 3 of Wands and the energy of the 9 of Cups in the 3 of Cups. There is celebration. People are congratulating you. This could actually, people could, in your daily life, people could be congratulating you or telling you that you did such a terrific job on overcoming this or dealing with this. So that's the first thing that I wanted to tell you, that whatever you did an amazing job on it, on overcoming that. And this message from your ancestors is basically just congratulating you. They're only praising you in whatever happened here. So the shadow, what that refers to, is actually the 5 of Swords. So there was someone casting a shadow over you, or maybe over your happiness, over maybe a hobby that you did. So an example that I can think of is, for example, when you work somewhere and there is someone who out of nowhere starts to bully you for no reason, it seems for no reason in specific, and because you get bullied at your job every day, you of course feel demotivated to get up in the morning. You don't really want to go to your job and work there because there's that person who is bullying you. So that bully is casting a shadow over like the day of that person, over the happiness. Maybe they love doing their job, but because of that bully there, they cannot enjoy it, and the bully is casting a shadow. And then if we're continuing with this example, what I see happening is that this person who got bullied in some way made sure that either the bully's antics stopped bothering them, or maybe they stood up for themselves and told the bully, like, fuck off, right? What are you doing? Or maybe they went to some kind of supervisor, they went to the higher ups and told them about the situation, and now the situation is resolved, right? So I'm seeing that whatever shadow was cast on you, on your happiness, on your job, on something that you love to do, like a hobby or some place that you love to visit, it is now gone, right? That's what we were talking about with the 3 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. So here, next on, we move on to the Bridget with inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. So your ancestors are telling you this is what happened. It's like suddenly a switch went off in you, and you were like, wait, why do I let this situation or this person influence me like this? The power is in my hands. I am the creator of my reality. I decide what I focus on. I decide where my attention goes. And if I do not like the situation or this person, or I do not like how they are treating me, I am going to change it, because the power is in my hands. So you recognize that you have the power, that you have the strength, and you took the power back into your own hands, which is the reason that the situation started to change. Now, with the hard work is paying off, for some of you guys, you could still be in the process of overcoming this, or of receiving the congratulations, or basking in the victory. So for some of you, it could still be that those kind of, blessings and congratulations are coming in, but your ancestors are telling you here, no matter what it looks like on the outside, no matter what things look like on the 3D, you have already overcome this challenge on the spiritual level, and therefore, since reality is your mirror, it's going to mirror out in your 3D world as well. So you took back your power, you listened to your inner strength, you moved back to wholeness, so you moved back into a state of who you really are, and no longer letting that person or that situation cast a shadow over you. And that is, you already overcame the challenge in that way, and that is going to mirror back into your 3D world. Even if you're not seeing it yet, it will still come. And what I'm also hearing from your ancestors is that you will always also have long-term benefits from this. So you will still maybe receive some rewards or blessings or benefits from this whole situation 2 years from now. So I'm not seeing exactly what it is, but maybe you standing up for yourself then inspires someone else to do the same thing. Or if we're going back to that example of the bully at your job, maybe because you spoke up about the bullying, then now the company is going to install like an anti-bullying program, or maybe it has to do with like sexual harassment or sexual assault and that kind of stuff, and the company like installs a program for it, or they hire a person to take care of it, and then in the future the people who will suffer from those same things will be helped instantly. And then maybe those people come back to you in this example and be like, oh, thanks to your bravery and your strength, I now no longer have to suffer from this. So it could be something like this. Now with this last card, Third Eye Awakening, and again we have another 3 here, and we have third eye, so we have 3 3 3 3, so definitely an important number here. I saved this card as last for a reason, because this is kind of what this whole situation led to on a spiritual level. As you can see in this card, there are different energy beams going out all around this person. It looks like it goes from left to right, it goes upside down, and even here you also see some wings with some light. So it's like you're expanding because of this. And the number 3 also talks about expanding, so that's not a coincidence. And I'm seeing that you're expanding and awakening to some part of your experience. You're becoming more aware of your experience and maybe even of what you're creating. You know, I mentioned something like that with this card, that you became aware the power is in my hands. And because of this, all this energy is like exploding out of you into your reality, which is going to be very beneficial for your spiritual journey. I am not seeing in specific what that is going to be, but I'm going to pull some more tarot cards for you guys to see if we can have a closer look at what this is. So for pile number 2, what is this third eye awakening about? What is the third eye awakening about for pile 2? Tell us about the third eye awakening. Let's see. We have the 9 of Pentacles. So yes, this is, like I said, stepping into your own power, taking your own power back, and moving back to wholeness in a way that is you, that's really you. So I'm seeing you, like I said before, moving back to a version to yourself that's more authentic and more in alignment with who you really are. So you're like moving back towards that person that you really are. And with the 9 of Pentacles, to me it also talks about cultivating self-love, self-respect, having some me time, spending money on yourself. So this whole situation, it could also definitely lead to you realizing how important you are to yourself and how much you love yourself. And for some of you guys, I'm seeing that you're going to spend more time on your looks, or you're going to spend more money on your looks, maybe buying more skincare products or hair products or body products, or buying some nice clothing that makes you feel good. Or it could be you taking care of your living environment. Maybe you're going to upgrade your house in some kind of way. You're going to buy new furniture, or you're going to buy that piece of furniture that you've always wanted. Or maybe it's something like you're going to buy that book that you always wanted, or that video game you always wanted. You're going to get that subscription that you always wanted. So there's some kind of self-love going on here. So let's have another card. Oh, that was fast. We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, so for some of you guys, you might still be in a kind of recovery of this situation, which is why we're seeing the girl with the bandage and with the pills. But like I said before, I'm seeing this is no problem for you guys to overcome this and to heal from this. And this 9 of Wands, what it actually is talking to me about is, again, that your experience with this, it has expanded you, and in that way you can help others who are going through a similar thing that you went through, or you will be able to prevent others from going through a similar thing that you went through. So it's expansion in a type of way. you now know how this stuff works. You know how it goes down. You know what you can do to prevent it. You know what you would have done differently in case you would have, known that this would happen. You know what you would tell your past self about the situation. So I'm seeing that in you overcoming this and gaining this new experience, you will also be able to help others in that kind of way. And maybe you guys don't really have that ambition to help others, but even if that's the case for you, I'm seeing that in some way, maybe it's just in being yourself, just in speaking up for yourself, you're going to inspire others as well. So this is your reading, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading and it resonated for you. In case it did, feel free to leave a like, to comment, and subscribe, and maybe we will see each other in the next reading. Bye guys! Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Before we get started and have a look at your cards, there is something I briefly want to talk about. So as I was preparing the cards, there was one card that really stood out to me and gave me a message for a general message for this whole reading. And it happens every now and then that a card like this comes out. So this is like a message for all of you guys as a general message. So the card that we have is this truth card. So the message that your ancestors here have for you is that in this reading, they want to expose some truth to you to restore some kind of imbalance, because we have this scale here that's not in balance. So they wish to bring this scale back in balance again by bringing you some kind of truth. Now, I don't know what this truth is going to be. It could be kind of like a harsh truth, tough love situation. But this is again to bring this balance back into your life. So it's going to come from a place of good intentions. And I'm seeing with the flower in the background that these are going to be gentle messages. And again, it's going to come from a place of love and a place of gentleness. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Right, that you might hear some truths in this message, and this card wanted to come out for a reason. So that's kind of the general message for everyone. And let's now have a look at your cards. So first of all, your tarot cards are the Death card. You also have the Five of Cups and the Judgment card. For your oracle cards, you have Horus with the Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. And my nose just started itching. So let's see. Oh, let's put them here. Next, you have a time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo. You also have ecstasy. And you have finding what was lost with number 6. And Virgo is also the 6th zodiac sign and related to the 6th house. That's something that I just noticed here. Okay, pile 3. I definitely see where this message of the truth is now coming from. So here what I am seeing, this message from your ancestors is basically about forgiveness. And what this is related to is I see that you are either holding a grudge against someone, or you are someone who easily holds grudges against people, or you're like someone who wants to get revenge on others, right? With the Judgment card, I feel that if someone does you wrong, you hold a grudge against them. And there is, of course, not necessarily anything wrong with that. But what the message here from your ancestors is to let it go, because you holding these grudges is actually hurting you. It's not benefiting you anymore. I'm also seeing that you could be someone who cuts cords or who burns bridges very easily. Once someone does something that you don't like, you burn the bridge. And again, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But what your ancestors are telling you here is that you holding grudges against people, or you seeking revenge, or you maybe some of you are even on the borderline of bullying other people, just because you don't like what they're wearing or you don't like what they're saying. And your ancestors are saying you being like this is damaging yourself, is damaging you, because everyone is you pushed out, right? And we are all connected. So if you are mean to yourself, if you're mean to someone else, or you send bad thoughts towards someone else, then you're actually sending out those thoughts to yourself as well. And I could go very deep into karma and things like that, and what goes around comes around, but I don't think that it's necessarily for you to hear this right now. And again, just know that this is a gentle message from your ancestors. It's not to punish you or to bash you in any way, but they're trying to tell you, you sending out bad thoughts to people is going to come back to you. Because here we have, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. And in case, for those of you who don't know, with things like the law of attraction and the law of assumption, your thoughts create. So whatever you think, whatever you believe, it will eventually push out in your reality. And if you keep thinking, for example, oh, people are always mean to me, or people are always judging me, people do not get me, and in return you're sending out bad thoughts towards those people, you're only going to confirm or affirm that reality in which people do not treat you the way that you want. I hope that I'm kind of making myself clear. I also don't want to sound condescending to you guys, because I know that probably a lot of you guys are watching with different types of stories, so just hang in there. I will get to the point. But what the message is that if you think that people are saying bad things about you, and if you then in return say bad things about other people, that is only going to create this reality in which that is going to continue to happen. And then, for example, you might arrive at a point where you cannot trust anyone, and you believe no one is on your side and no one is supporting you. And that is, of course, a very extreme example. But basically, you sending out those thoughts to other people, and you maybe also believing that others think the same way about you, is not helping you, it's not serving you, and it's actually hurting like your self-esteem and your self-worth. And this can be something that's difficult to get through, or to be aware that you're doing this. And I believe that people who are hurting others in whatever way that is, they are hurt themselves as well, because of something that happened in their lives that made them like this. So I really feel for you guys, pile 3, if this resonates with you. And again, it does not have to be extreme that you're really holding grudges to everyone who does you wrong. But there's definitely an imbalance here for you guys. And what your ancestors are telling you is to be aware of the thoughts that you're sending out, because they're going to return to you. And it's kind of like, it's again like in this card, like there is an imbalance here. And with finding what was lost, you're supposed to find that part of you that will bring that skill back into balance. So there is a part of you that is more forgiving and that is more compassionate. But right now it seems like it's covered up by a defense mechanism, probably, of trying to protect yourself towards against other people, because you don't want to get hurt again. And having such a defense mechanism, I personally believe that we cannot trust everyone the moment we meet them 100%. You know, there are some people who say that you should do that. I personally, I don't think that's true, or maybe I am also not at that point yet where I can 100% trust everyone else. But you know, there are some bad people out there, so I totally get that you would want some kind of defense mechanism in place, that you don't want to get hurt again for what happened. But again, the message is that you're kind of over extending it. It's no longer being very protective, but more damaging to yourself. And the solution kind of that your ancestors are here giving you, no matter what your situation is to imagine yourself as a person who has healthy boundaries and who does not let anyone walk all over them, who does not let anyone hurt them, but at the same time someone who can trust others, someone who can be forgiving and can be compassionate, someone who is more understanding towards other people as well, that we all are here in the human experience, and that most of the times that people hurt us by the words that they're using, it's not personal. It's simply because those people are hurt themselves. That's why they hurt others. So your ancestors are asking you to become aware of that as well. And besides that, to think more positive thoughts. That's why the ecstasy card is here. It's telling you, focus on what gives you that feeling of ecstasy, what makes you feel confident, what makes you feel happy. And once you start with that and you get the ball rolling, which can also require some effort and some discipline, but once you get the ball rolling, you will start to see the effects immediately, like within your mind at first. Because again, what I'm seeing here, just to make what the message is, to make it clear, what I'm seeing here is that with your thoughts, you're focusing on the things that you don't want to be, right? Or that's what your ancestors are saying. You don't want to be someone who holds grudges against everyone, who burns every bridge, or who doesn't trust anyone at all. You don't want to be that person. But with your thoughts, you are focusing on that. Oh, I am that kind of person. I cannot trust these people because I'm scared that they are going to hurt me like that other person did in the past. Or I cannot trust in this situation because I know what happened in the past. And your ancestors are asking you to not focus on that and to not believe that whatever happened in the past is also how things need to happen in the future, because that's totally not true. Your future is independent of your past. And instead, your ancestors are asking you to focus on more positive thoughts. And these could be like whatever, right? It can be all kinds of stuff. Maybe you would like to dance, because we're seeing that here in the picture. Imagine yourself dancing, imagine yourself enjoying music or spending time with friends, with which you feel comfortable and you feel like you can trust them, right? So your ancestors are asking you to focus on more positive thoughts, a more positive way of thinking, and then again, I know that is hard. Instead, think that maybe people are judging you or saying bad things about you. Imagine them saying good things about you. And I also went through something similar like that, and I'm still kind of in the process of that. So I kind of want to give you my personal example, and it mostly has to do with the way that I look. And there's not really anything special about it, but ever since high school, I always had the feeling, and I definitely believe that people were constantly looking at me and judging me and thinking that I was ugly or that I wasn't nice, because I used to have people tell me that. So that's kind of where that trauma came from. And still to this day, when I walk around in public and I see someone pass by or see someone look at me, at first my first thought was like, oh, what are they seeing about me? Do they think that my shoes are ugly? Do they think that my hair looks weird? Do I have a pimple on my face that they were looking at, right? And it comes from that place of trauma, of you believe that people told me this and now it must be true. And the thing here, what's important, what I'm also trying to do, is to stop that first thought from happening. To not think, oh, people think I'm ugly or people don't like my shoes, but be like, I bet that when people look at me, they love the way I look, and they go like, wow, she's so pretty, wow, she looks amazing. And this is the way it goes. And I have to say, I still haven't completed that journey entirely, but this is how it works. This is how you change that way, like being anxious about what other people might say or think about you. It starts with your mind. It starts with what you're thinking. Because if you think people are going to judge you when they walk past you, they're likely going to do that because your reality pushes out. But if you think the opposite, or people probably think I look amazing, then that's also what people are going to think. And just try it out as an experiment, for example, to see if you are any changes. And I promise you, if you stay on this, if you stay disciplined, then you're going to have people come up to you almost immediately and maybe tell you, wow, I love your hair. Like, I had this as well. I had this certain type of hair color, which I absolutely loved, but certain people in my environment, they didn't like it. So I was a little bit self-conscious every time I would step outside and be like, oh, maybe those people, they also don't like it. But once I started saying stuff like, oh, people love my hair and they like the way I dress and they like the way I look, there was this girl at a cafeteria, and she walked up to me, or like we passed each other, and she looked at me and she just stayed silent for like a couple of seconds, and she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I just love your hair, I was just looking at your hair. And it took me, like, it shocked me, because I was like, oh my god, someone is saying giving me a compliment about my hair that I used to be so insecure about. So this proves that even if you do not believe it at first, pile number one, if you keep saying these thoughts that contradict your initial thought and are the thought that you truly want, right? You want that people compliment you on your hair, for example, or the way you look, or you want people to praise you when, behind your back. And start saying that to yourself. When people walk by, they must be saying, wow, they look so amazing, or they seem to be such a good friend, because it is going to happen. And again, like I said, it's going to require some discipline and some effort at first. Like I said, I know that from experience, and it can be challenging at first, but you will see the results if you keep on doing this. So this is what I'm seeing as a message from your ancestors, that whatever you think, whatever you think, you will create. So I hope I kind of made the situation clear to you. I also, like, I don't have any intention of offending you or judging you in any type of way, so I hope I still like I said before, I gave this message to you with some gentleness. And if you made it to the end of this video, then thank you so much for sticking around. And I believe that you can change your life by changing your thoughts. Like, I believe you can do it, pile 3, because I can do it as well. So I believe that you can do it too. I believe in you. I believe in your strength. So just know that there is someone who is rooting for you and who believes that you can do this, no matter how challenging this may look. So I'm going to end your reading here. Pile 3, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying until the end. I hope all goes well for you. I wish you a lot of love and light. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like, to comment, and to subscribe, and maybe we will see each other in the next reading. Bye guys!